member of the minority, MP for Ikrom, who's become the voice of the minority when it comes to cocoa issues. He is also the son of Wahinedu, the man who just left Cocoa Board in the situation. So he is the son. He is the son. So the son is now speaking for the father, and this is what he's saying.
Mr. Speaker, the issue at hand is not just semantics, but a very serious issue that I believe we all have to pay particular attention to. The issue is about a trading option gone wrong. But I believe a lot of people do not understand what cocoa trading is and what commodity trading is. So because of that, we dilly-dally with the politics. Mr. Speaker, every year, Ghana Cocoa Board trades some of its cocoa forward. Why do we trade cocoa forward? We trade cocoa forward to get clarity so that we will be able to know how much cocoa we are getting, how much sales revenue we are expecting, and based on that, in October, we strike the average and determine the FOB price for the farmer. Mr. Speaker, in Ghana, we give the farmer a guaranteed minimum price. What do we mean by a guaranteed minimum price? It means that the price that you are giving is guaranteed within the season and it is not supposed to go down. If anybody has taken a critical look at the statement that was issued by Ivory Coast mentioned in their statement that they are maintaining the guaranteed minimum price of 2,800 CFA, which when converted into a bag is 64 kilos. When converted, gives you about 3,600 cedis per bag. So Ghana announced a price of 3,625 last year, August, when the season opened. Mr. Speaker, once you've announced that price, you are supposed to guarantee the farmer to the end of the season. What happened? What has happened?
Well, like I said, that is Honorable Michael Kwesi Edu, son of Joseph Boahin Edu, the former Cocoa Board CEO. He is now a member of Parliament for Ikrom and has been speaking about this on as many platforms as you give him. Professor Franklin Maben is a senior lecturer, agriculture and resource economics department of the University of Development Studies, joining us on the line. Prof, good morning. I hope you're well.
Yeah, good morning.
Prof, first, your views on the debate thus far. A minority that insists that we should return to the situation where, to the former price, and a government that says at this point, what we can do up to 90% of the FOB price, current FOB price for cocoa farmers. We cannot continue at that price. What do you say?
Yeah, so thank you very much for your comment and then contacting me to address some of these issues that were raised by the minority. I think it is important to note that cocoa sector is facing enormous challenges. And currently, looking at the world market price, it will be unsustainable or financially not wise for the government to maintain the price because the cocoa price has reduced internationally. And looking at the challenges we are facing at the cocoa sector, government cannot maintain the initial price that was announced. If it happens so, it means the government will be making a lot of losses. And at the end of the day, it will come back to affect the economy. Already the cocoa sector is owing a whole lot of money. And the debt of Cocoa Board is, more or less the debt of Ghana. And if you want to maintain this price, what it means is that if lancing buying companies are given the opportunity to go and buy cocoa at the price, at the prevailing, the initial price that was announced, about almost 5,000 Ghana cedis per bag. And you go to the international market, and the price is around 4,000 Ghana cedis. When you convert it to Ghana cedis, 4,200, 4,500 Ghana cedis. And you are buying at over 5,000, 6,000. So who is going to pay for the difference? So it is important for us to note that the FOB price that currently is being announced is more or less feasible. So that at the end of the day, government of Ghana will be able to mob up the cocoa that is available. If we don't do that, there's a tendency that, the buyers are shifting to Cote d'Ivoire. We know Nigeria, they also have cocoa, and other countries like Ecuador, Brazil, and even China is producing cocoa now. So it is important for us as a country to look at the best model that will help to sustain the cocoa sector. If now the price that was initially announced, if government want to maintain it, and we are not getting buyers, that means that our cocoa beans will remain. And if it remains, what will be the fate of these beans next year? Already, we are owing the buyers. We are owing them because when we took syndicated loan the last time, we couldn't supply enough cocoa. And the money that we took, was spent. So, it means that government of Ghana need to supply some amount of cocoa to the buyers. And if we are supplying to the buyers, already we are losing because we are supplying at a lower, price. But when you go to the farm gate or you go to the farmers, you are supposed to buy at the highest price, at the higher price, or maybe the prevailing price. So already you are losing. So I think let's all of us as a country rally behind the government, the new directives that has been given, so that we see how we can sustain the cocoa sector.
The NPP's argument is that no matter what the problem is, a price was set for the season, and that price should be maintained until this season is over, because the cocoa farmer would also have heard the price and perhaps planned accordingly and budgeted accordingly. Don't they have a case when they raise this?
Yeah, so even though the cocoa farmer will have budgeted, but the issue is that who will pay the difference? Do we transfer that difference to government or cocoa board? And if we transfer it to cocoa board, we know the economic situation now. Already we are facing challenges. So who is going to bear the cost? So it is important for us to note that since the world market price has reduced, government of Ghana has to also look at how they can reduce the price to mitigate the effect that will come to the country, especially in terms of the economic and then financial implications. So I don't think this is a fair argument. I don't think this should be an argument that should stand, because cocoa farmers, let's be realistic, they should also be, more or less moderate in their demands. Because if government of Ghana want to pay the initial price that was announced, now the difference is over 200. Let's say the difference is over 1,000 Ghana cedis per bag. And who is going to bear the cost? So it is important for us to note that what is happening at the world market, none of us is anticipated for this, but it has happened. And it's a general problem. You go to Cote d'Ivoire, their prices are down. You go to other countries surrounding us, which are producing cocoa, Nigeria, prices are down. So why should Ghana continue to buy cocoa at this high price? And when they do that, when the country or the cocoa board continue to, maintain this price, it means that the difference will be a cost to the country. And we already know the challenges the cocoa sector is facing. And we shouldn't compare what is happening in Cote d'Ivoire even to Ghana, because Cote d'Ivoire cocoa sector is a liberalized sector where government doesn't regulate some of the activities. Government doesn't provide fertilizer. Government doesn't provide doesn't spray. The research unit of cocoa board is not as strong. The research unit of cocoa in Cote d'Ivoire is not as strong as Ghana. So there are a lot of things that the government of Ghana, especially through cocoa board, is doing for the cocoa farmers, and those things need to be catered for, because who is going to fund all the research in the cocoa sector, the extension service in the cocoa sector, the mass cocoa spraying activities that is cocoa board is embarking on, and then the provision of agrochemicals to the cocoa farmers. So these are incentives that are being provided to the cocoa farmers. And if these incentives are provided to cocoa farmers, and at the end of the day, cocoa farmers still want that government should buy cocoa, and at the end of the day, when they buy at this the initially announced price, the difference will be a debt, a financial burden to cocoa board. Then I think it's unfair. So it is important for us to note that what has been announced, the initiative that has been announced by government, let's try as much as possible to adhere to them and make sure that at the end of the day, the cocoa farmers are getting prices that will help cocoa board to sustain the activities that they are carrying out within the cocoa sector.
I see. Interesting, because the comparisons with Cote d'Ivoire has come consistently. And then there's also the suggestion by the minority that at least cocoa farmers have sacrificed for us for a long time. So even if we have to borrow to make up for the difference, that we should do that and give to the farmer. What do you think?
Yeah, so well, let's say that cocoa farmers have sacrificed, but who has not sacrificed in this country? Everybody has sacrificed. Do you think that other rice farmers, other maize farmers, yam farmers haven't sacrificed? They have. Look at the rules of our rules to the farming communities. Very bad. These are sacrifices all the farmers are making to make sure that this country develops. And it is important to note that irrespective of the sacrifices, if we want to continue to say they have sacrificed and the country run into serious debt, are we happy, or will we be happy that the country run into debt such that we cannot go to the international market to borrow? Were we happy with the situation of the economy in the past 3, 4, 5 years ago? No. So let's be moderate in our demands so that at the end of the day, the economy will be moving at the right direction and everybody will benefit from it.
And let me conclude with you by asking you about the president's comments. He says this provides an opportunity for us to expand our processing base, adding value to the cocoa we are producing First, what do you think of what he has said? And secondly, how do we achieve that?
Yeah, so your question is in twofold. What do I think President announcement that we need to
take advantage of this?
Expand the processing base. Yes, it is important to note that for the past 40, 50 years, government of Ghana, has been supporting the cocoa farmers. But our processing factories are not, supported. What are the factories that are available? What are the industries that are available for us to process the cocoa beans? So in order to get the industries to process the cocoa beans, it means that government need to provide some incentives for the private sector involvement. So any private sector or any private organization that is interested in investing in cocoa sector, especially establishing a factory, should be given some incentives so that the equipment that will be brought to the country should be subsidized. Even the tax, component can be waived so that at the end of the day, they should be able to build a factory, allow government to come in terms of maybe providing guarantee for them to get finance so that they can mop up the cocoa beans and use it to process. Now, if government decides to engage in the establishment of the factories, we know what has happened to the Commander Sugar Factory. So it will not be feasible for government to, engage itself in this venture. It's rather feasible for the private sector to engage in what? The processing of cocoa to other products like cocoa butter, chocolate, and other products that can be used by maybe sometimes the pharmaceutical industries. Now, let's come to whether this is feasible. It is feasible, but the feasibility depends on the incentives that government will give to what? To the private sector. If the government doesn't give much incentives to private sector to establish these factories, it will, be a 9-day wonder, just like what has happened to Commander Sugar Factory. So government shouldn't involve himself directly into the establishment of factories. Now, the few, people who are engaged in the processing of cocoa beans into other products can also be supported in terms of giving some guarantee, a government guaranteeing some loans for them. The interest rate of loans in Ghana is too much, 17%, 18%, 23%. If government of Ghana, provide some concessionary loans to private sector who are involved in the processing of cocoa beans, I think it will be good. And then also, those who are going to export the product, the final product that will be processed into to other countries, will also be given some incentives so that the exportation will become easier for them. And at the end of the day, the foreign direct investment that will come to the country can sort out our liquidity in the country. I think these are the strategies that government can adopt to help stabilize the sector.
Prof, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
All right.
Prof lectures at the Agriculture and Resource Economics Department, works at the Agriculture and Resource Economics Department of the University of Development Studies. He's a professor. Join us on the line, taking us 52 minutes past 8 on this matter of cocoa prices. It's a matter that is not going away, largely because it also presents us an opportunity to look at cocoa again and see what needs to be done about that sector.